Man. Hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you spaced out. Welcome to the Gunfighters. You're officially Gunfighters. Now, we're glad to have you. Like I said, I'm the Wing Commander. I'm here just to say welcome, to share some ideas. Speak louder, use the microphone. Okay. This is new and different, but we're going to roll with it. All right, hey, welcome. Welcome to the Gunfighters. Just a couple of thoughts on what's going on in the world maybe, what's going on in the gunfighters, why it's a cool time to be a gunfighter, and then just open it up. So we're going to start with some boring stuff, and then we'll move on to some of the more cool stuff that's going on, and then we'll open up for maybe some questions, and then we'll just move on today. You're going to get a lot of information today. If you walk out with nothing else, know that first, you matter, what you do matters, and your family matters, and we're glad you're here. We want your assignment at Mountain Home Air Force Base to be your best assignment in the Air Force. In other words, not only just to survive your time here, but to thrive during your time here. And we have a lot of things in place that are going to help you do that. And then if we're not meeting that mark, then we're hoping to hear from you to make it better. Okay, we'll start with the boring stuff. Has anyone heard that there's something weird going on at Mountain Home, something unique, and maybe something interesting going on? Has anyone heard, like, wow, you're going to Mountain Home? That's where that weird stuff's happening. Has anyone heard anything like that? Not a hand. Okay, how about a reorg? Has anyone heard of a reorg? An experiment? You have? What'd you hear, sir?
I heard y'all got rid of the groups.
We got rid of the groups. They're bad and wrong, and we got rid of them. That's right. So that's happening. Good. What else? And
We heard that a lot of the main squadrons mixed together to make one big maintenance squadron, and the fire squadrons also kind of make it different now.
You bet. So that's another big part. So no groups, and flight line maintenance is reorganized under the fighter squadron. Another hand? Yes, sir? Wow, you're like 20 years late, because that's true. This is where the composite wing was in the 90s and up through the early 2000s. But that's close to what we're doing now, and I'll talk about that. Okay, yeah, so if you heard rumors, you're like, you're going to that place, that's weird and wrong. Yeah, it's true, and there's a reason behind it. So this is the boring part, I promise you. All right, so here's the org chart. What's important about this is kind of you're both right and more. Any maintainers in the crowd? Love me some maintainers. Awesome, good to see you. Yeah, if you're flight line maintenance, then you are going to be assigned to one of the fighter squadrons. In other words, instead of being in aircraft maintenance squadron, AMXS, you're going to be in a fighter squadron. Instead of AMUs, you're part of the fighter squadron. The other maintenance squadron still exists. So we have an MXS, a maintenance squadron, and we have a MUNS, or munitions squadron, that has kind of the old component maintenance and equipment maintenance pieces and parts. So that's happened. And the reason behind that is so that a fighter squadron itself is a kind of a whole unit unto itself. When a fighter squadron deploys, it doesn't have to take pieces and parts, but it is what it is. And so every single person in the squadron, whether it's the flight suits or the maintainers and some other supporting personnel, you're going to wear that orange t-shirt, that red t-shirt, that sense of identity, and so that's really cool. So that's going on. Another piece is, kind of that what doesn't exist right there. We got rid of the groups. So we flattened the organization. If you come from a different base, there used to be a thing called an ops group, a maintenance group, a mission support group, and a medical group. So those are gone, and the staffs that support them are gone. So it is just the wing commander straight to the squadron commanders and the squadrons as the doing units. And the reason we did that was to eliminate some of the bureaucracy, speed up decision cycles. Day in, day out, is that going to matter to you? Maybe not, unless you used to be kind of a group person. But really, it's just to speed that process up, to flatten the organization, make it agile, adaptable, fast. And the last thing we did is over here. That's what we call a wing staff. Well, it's always been a wing staff. We're calling it an air staff. We're the only wing in the Air Force that has a thing called an air staff. and it looks like the other joint forces and the way they execute. In other words, we have A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A1 being personnel and manpower, A2 intel, 3 ops, 4 logistics and maintenance, 5 planning, 6 and 7 installations and communication. Okay, why does that matter? And this gets to the point of all of the reorg discussion. I told you this was the boring part. But we're transitioning to the cool part. So the Air Force is looking across the environment and the past 20 years said, man, we have been fighting a global war on terror where garrisons have settled into being a garrison unit and then deploying UTCs or individual small numbers of people out one at a time, and every once in a while, a squadron would rotate. Well, in a near-peer fight, we don't need UTCs of 1, 2, 3 people and every once in a while a squadron. We need an entire wing to be able to pick up and move and go fight as a wing, right? So if we find ourselves in a big fight with Russia or China, the 366 fighter wing isn't going to send 1 or 2 or 3 of you and say good luck, or send maybe a squadron and say good luck. The 366 fighter wing is going to go, we got this, and pick up, detach from the garrison and move forward as an entire fighter wing and move to the fight, move to the sounds of danger. And that's the type of Air Force and the type of fighter wing that we need. So that's what we're doing. And that's what we're training to. And that air staff is a critical part of that because it's going to plug into kind of, the COCOM or one of those units forward and help us do that. So that's why the wing staff is there as well. So that's pretty cool, and that's what we're gearing up to do. Not only to reorg for reorg's sake, not only to align squadrons, but that's a key part of it. Not only to make us flatter and more agile, but that's part of it. But truly a wing that is an air expeditionary wing in waiting, or lead wing in a box, if you will. So when SecDef or the president says, we need a wing combat firepower to move forward, we could say, here I am, send me. Okay, the cool thing is we're going to practice this. We're going to practice it soon, or at least we were going to practice it soon. It's a TBD based on world events. In other words, we are going to, right now there's a plan to move to the Pacific sometime this summer and as a wing. Maybe not all of you, but some of you may find yourself on a place where there's an island, a runway, a water source, and a packet of MREs, and we need to generate and sustain combat air power and be able to move quickly in order to do that, because that is the threat that we're facing. That's the environment we're going to find ourselves in. Okay, so that's the whole why of all of this stuff. When people or friends, your folks from your previous bases or tech school or training go, man, you're at Mountain Home. I heard there's something funny going on. You're like, damn Skippy, because we're getting ready to fight, because that's what we do. Warfighting excellence and innovation, it's in our DNA, and you guys are a part of that, because you're gunfighters. Okay, all right, we're done with the boring part. Let's talk about priorities just for a second. A couple of years ago, wing leadership, this preceded our time, got together and said, man, what do we need to be focusing on? But I looked at them, Chief looked at them, and go, these are pretty good. Here's what we need to be doing. We need to be enhancing readiness. The reason that we put on the uniform, the reason we signed up, raised our right hand, enhancing readiness, the JOB, whatever skill that is. We'll talk about that in a second. We need to be, I'm going to skip forward, take care of airmen and the families. If we do that, then we can take care of that readiness issue. So equal to job number 1. Building up leaders, that's you guys. What I say is there's a lot more runway behind me than there is in front of me in terms of the Air Force career, and we need to be building up the next generation and empowering airmen at the youngest and the lowest levels. So you could grow up and take our spots. Me and Chief, we ain't got much time left, but you potentially have a lot of time left, and you're going to be serving the Air Force for a long time. We need to be building up leaders. And lastly, building trust among mission-focused airmen. If this breaks down, then we can't do our job. So we'll talk about each one of those as we go through. Enhancing readiness. All right, think back to what I said. We are lead wing and waiting. We're an AEW in a box. We're a warfighting unit, not in pieces and parts, but all of us as gunfighters. Just waiting to go. So we need to be ready to do that, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. Not only the ability to get out and move fast, but do those combat skills or whatever the skill set in your particular job that supports that mission. So whether you fix the planes, whether you defend the base, whether you fix the meals, whether you fix the people, whether you support the out processing, whatever that is, we need you to be as good as you could possibly be and moving forward in that area. So if that's not happening, we want to hear about it. If we need to stop doing something in order to focus you on those critical skill sets, then we want to hear about it. So that's what we're focusing on. And it's a cool place to be to do all of that sort of stuff out here on the Mountain Home base and the Mountain Home Range Complex. Building up leaders kind of alluded to that. During your time here, there's a good chance that we're going to be walking across either this stage or at the club when it opens back up, holding a certificate, smiling, all dressed up, because you will be moving forward either in ALS, or you're going to be promoted, stepping into new positions of leadership and responsibility. Maybe you're going to graduate from something. All of those things are important to your time here to build up leaders in the next generation for all the reasons we already talked about. If something's standing in your way, we want to hear about it. We want to give you every tool and resource to be able to succeed as you build yourself up. Whether it's the education center, other professional development opportunities, mentorship within the squadrons, whatever that is, getting after it. Building leaders. All right, this is the one that I get excited about. So I got a wife, I got 4 kiddos. I spent the last year deployed, so if anyone's either has just deployed or about to, just know that been there, done that. I feel you. I got 4 kids, at one in every school that Mountain Home has to offer. So in terms of like family life and supporting the family, like I feel you, right? So we're trying to get after that. Housing issues, I feel you. We're getting after that. Our job is to make sure that you're able to thrive during this assignment, and Mountain Home is already set up in order to do that. Whether it is the national renowned, and I kid you not, Air Force level award-winning Force Support Squadron and outdoor rec programs, and Airmen and Family Readiness Center that you're part of one of their programs today. It's a cool place to be. About a month ago, when we could still do these sort of things, I took my family through the outdoor rec program, snowmobiling through Yellowstone. I'm about as far as me to you from Bison, on a snowmobile. And we could do that because we're in the Northwest US, right? We have access to all of those sorts of things. In the summer, rafting, whitewater rafting, the hiking, the lakes, just endless amounts of stuff. What I'm telling you is, if you live on base and you eat at the food court or the DFAC and you never leave and you say this place sucks, then you're probably doing it wrong, because there is so much opportunity for you guys to enjoy and to thrive this time in Idaho and in the Northwest. It's a cool place to be. In addition to all of that, it's not just about outdoor rec. There's all sorts of programs that support to the family. So whether it's a Key Spouse program, Education Center, already talked about that. Stuff that you see up there like the Kids Gym, which is still open at the Gunfighter Service Center if you have kiddos. An Airman Center right next to the fitness facility for airmen to get out of the dorms, connect with others, and have a little fun, decompress. We're doing everything that we can to make your life as good, as healthy and full and abundant as possible. Now, if that's not happening, or if there's different ways that we can get after taking care of you or your families, then we want to hear about it. And Chief and I, and the whole team, and the expectation all the way down to the squadrons and below, is that they are talking with you, meeting with you. We have breakfast every week with groups of you just to listen, just to go, how can we make this base and your experience here as good as humanly possible? Taking care of airmen and their families. All right, the last is building trust among mission-focused or mission-minded airmen. Mission-focused airmen, we already talked about that in the readiness. There's a reason you're wearing a uniform, there's a reason you signed up, and a job you got to do. But to build trust, that's an important part. And the whole point behind this is treating people with dignity and respect. So that when you wake up in a tent on the other side of the planet and you have a job to do, the person to your left and the person to your right, you're not worried about whether they have your best interests at heart. But instead, you guys trust each other, you're working together towards that common goal. And if we're treating each other with dignity and respect, then you're going to build that trust. You're going to be able to do that task. You're not going to be worried about assault, sexual assault, DUIs, and kind of all those sorts of things, right? So we're going to get through that. We're going to execute our core values, not just know them, but live them, and then that's going to support that build trust. But that accountability goes all the way to the top. So we're going to continue to communicate We're going to answer questions through all those ways that we already talked about. Breakfasts, commanders' hotlines, mentorship sessions, and things like that. So those are the 4. Enhancing readiness, take care of airmen and their family, building leaders, and then building trust. And if the stuff we're doing doesn't fall under some of that, then let's talk about not doing that sort of stuff so we can focus you on one of those 4 priorities. All right, here's my last little spiel, and this is the cool stuff. It is a good thing to be a gunfighter. Very few wings across the entire Air Force have such a storied history and a sense of identity. So here's a couple things. First, who is this is your first assignment? All right, you guys won the jackpot. Could be worse. You could be going to Minot. Here you are, Mountain Home. Mountain Home. It's cool, and a gunfighter at that. Has anyone been to Mountain Home before? You're coming back? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hopefully you're like, that guy's full of something. Hopefully you're not like that. Hopefully you're like, yeah, that checks. All right, so here's why it's cool to be a gunfighter. We have a storied history. Like I said, warfighting excellence and innovation in our DNA. Does anyone know who this guy is right here? Anyone? Anyone heard of Lance Sijon? See, anyone heard of Lance Sijon? All right, cool. You'll get it in your PV, but here's the deal. Lance Sijon was a gunfighter. He was a fighter pilot in Vietnam. He was shot down. He evaded capture for 46 days. He eventually was captured with all sorts of like broken wrists, broken ribs, and a broken arm. Evaded capture, was captured. After about 3 days, you know what he did? He escaped again. You know, that courage, that heart, he got out, and after 11 days, was captured again, unfortunately, and succumbed to his injuries and died. He was the first Air Force Academy and only gunfighter to win the Medal of Honor, Lance Sijon. So when you see things, Sijon Street, Sijon Hall, and Lance Sijon, all sorts of things, that's the sort of person whose blood is in your DNA. There's an F4 on a stick at Holt Park, just right out here. It's painted in Lance Sijon colors. All right, Lance Sijon. That character right there is Boots Blessey, double ace in Korea and Vietnam. Boots Blessey, no guts, no glory, wrote the first tactical manual. All right, these individuals down here, those are gunfighters who, in the same month that Lance Sijon was shot down, were executing some innovative ideas. And here's the thought. The Air Force, in its quote-unquote infinite wisdom, anytime someone says infinite wisdom with air quotes, you know they're being sarcastic, said that the day of guns in dogfights was gone. Missiles had arrived, technology had solved our problems, and the gunfighters, well, at that time, 366 Fighter Wing, like, it's not working for us. So what they did was upload that gun pod that you see them gathered around on their own and started executing. And in the next few months, got 11 kills. 4 of those were with the gun. And that is the month, that is the event that created the moniker, the gunfighters that we still have today. All right? Innovation, warfighting excellence in your DNA. It continues today. Anyone know what that is down there? Any defenders out there? Oh, awesome. Defenders. Ever have a boring day when nothing happens? Thank a defender. Boom. You know what that is? M4. It's a modified M4, you're right. So that's a GAL 5, but it's a modified M4. In 2014, a Jordanian F-16 pilot was shot down. It was a partner in our fight against ISIS. Does anyone remember that story? All right. What happened to that F-16 pilot who was shot down, or actually was downed over ISIS territory, was captured by ISIS, and here's the bad part. He was captured by ISIS and burned alive in a cage, and that was put on social media and shown all over the world. So game changer, right? This is not World War II Geneva Conventions. This is some really bad people doing bad things, to include possibly our air crew that are in harm's way. So it was gunfighters here, no kidding, right here, at Mount Hope Air Force Base that said, we need to do something different. Any OSS in the crowd? OSS? Texas? It was a Pegasus. It was OSS that said we need to change the way we're equipping our air crew. So instead of just an M9 on the hip, we give them a fighting chance to stay alive long enough to get rescue forces in. So they figured out a way to break down the M4 in that modified GAL-5, and now every single strike eagle, as a matter of fact, every single strike eagle in A-10 that flies over combat territory now have a modified M4 in their seat kit for the air crew to protect themselves better. And they did it, in fact, when people said it can't be done, you shouldn't be doing this, and they said we're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Warfighting excellence, DNA, warfighting excellence and innovation, it's in your DNA. It's a cool thing to be a part of the gunfighter team. All right, last thing. All right, right here, I don't see any of our Singaporean partners here. We just celebrated 10 years, now 10 and a half years of partnering with the Singapore Air Force. They've been on the base. So if you see people in funny blue suits, in uniforms, that's our Singaporean friends and partners, and they're awesome. So feel free to get to know them and just realize that they're an important part of our team now and moving forward. All right, I think that is it. So I just wanted to lay the groundwork first to say thanks, say welcome. You're officially a gunfighter. My goal is for you to survive, or not just survive, but thrive, and make your time here at Mount Home as good as possible, especially as we join together to be the wing that the Air Force needs us to be. All right, with that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Chief RC for a handful of comments.
Good morning, gunfighters. On behalf of Chief Snyder, who's on leave right now, and really just a good time to just kind of iterate how gunfighter business is family business. And what I mean by that is, as the next guest comes on, and obviously with Colonel Goodman, I also have children. We have 3 boys, and believe it or not, Mayor Sykes, when he comes down, Colonel Goodman, our boys play football together. So when I mean gunfighter business, family business is, please, when you're out there, as you go through those priorities, one is be innovative. Don't try to put abnormal in a normal box. It won't fit. So here as a gunfighter, look at ways to be innovative as we get at readiness, as you kind of look at things, what's the best way to do our job, but do it a little bit more efficient, do it a little faster, do it a little better. So that's what a challenge that I know that Chief Snyder would definitely put to all of you. And as you're doing that, just know that Sergeant Russell, as the career advisor, she's looking out for the professional development. So every one of you, whether it's a CGO, an NCO, a senior NCO, we're going to, as both the Chiefs Group, superintendents, and on behalf of the 366 Fighter Wing, we're going to try to make sure that you get the professional development that you need, that you deserve, and that's going to put you in the best situation to win. And as we continue down that road, look at those programs, like I said, that enhances that readiness, builds those families. Seek those opportunities, whether it's going down to Mount Home and, playing around a golf over there, or enjoying some of the activities that are down there, volunteering, getting out. Again, on behalf of the retired, enlisted, senior enlisted superintendents here at 366 Fighter Wing, welcome. I'm telling you right now, I've been here since 2017, and I cannot tell you that I've had a better assignment. This place has been amazing. Went on the same trip, same bison. The only thing that protected me was my snowmobile. I don't know if that was really protecting me, because I felt like at any moment those bison definitely had the upper hand. So those are just kind of programs right now. Went whitewater rafting, got thrown out of a boat, my kids laughed, look at Dad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm floating down a river. A little bit cold, like I said, but take those opportunities, do those things. But again, sir, awesome words, welcome. And again, as you do the things that you do, all I do is challenge you is try to find a new way, a better way to get at what you're doing. And again, Colonel Goodman, welcome. All right.
No, we're good. All right, so right about now, normally I just pause and go, okay. You got anything, any questions for me at this point? This is the normal response I get, and that's okay. So here's my challenge to you. Well, first, 2 things I don't normally say. So going off script a little. 1, I've challenged all of the squadrons to execute a concept I call radical onboarding. Granted, we're in a weird time right now, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the idea is connecting you to your squadron and connecting you to the mission. So This should be the most welcoming onboarding that you've experienced in the Air Force. If that's not happening, then we want to hear it. So ask for it. Go, hey, what's this? I heard about rapid onboarding. I'm looking for squadron immersion and wing immersion. Because we want you to connect in and just plug in completely to the gunfighters and the gunfighter mission. It's your squadron and the wing. So ask for it. Radical onboarding. And the second, how many people are on Facebook? Raise your hands. Don't be ashamed, old people. I know, I get it. I just ask you to consider trying Facebook, although we're trying to communicate in lots of ways. We're not, any gamers in the house? Any gamers? All right, here's where we're not. We're not on Discord. I just learned about that yesterday. We're not there. So there's important wing messages that we're trying to get out, especially right now. And a lot of stuff happens on Facebook, you know, whether it's old stodgy or not. So I just challenge you to think about, consider that, because my goal is to communicate as effectively as I can to every single person. And no one single way will do it, but if we all work together, we can keep trying to connect and communicate that way. All right? All right, the last thing I'll acknowledge, elephant in the room. The fact of the matter is you guys are sitting far apart and you look really goofy and uncomfortable. It's because there's, I don't know if you heard, but there's a pandemic going around the globe, and it's a thing. With that being said, it's a pretty good time to be in Idaho. Am I right? But that being said, I think face is personal face. That's my weird Air Force nickname. Face is personal opinion. It's not a matter of if, but when. And that doesn't mean when someone becomes positive that they're a bad person. It's not an us versus them, but it's how we respond that matters and how we prepare that matters. So we're putting a lot of things into place right now, like this, and like other things. You've seen at the gate, you've seen in your squadrons. If not already, we're executing teaming, shift work, separated either by days, by hours, or even by weeks apart. So we're getting after protecting you and your families, even now, even in the early stages, even at the end of Air Base Road, even in a great county and a great town to be a part of, in order to first safeguard you and your families and the community, and then also to preserve mission capability, because we still have a very, very important job to do. So when you hear those jets flying, you may be tempted to go, why are we doing this right now? Just realize we have a real important job and a task to preserve that mission capability. All right, so I'm asking you guys first to help out with that and realize that our first goal is to take care of you guys, and we're getting after that. And we'll keep communicating as those changes happen. Okay. So talk to your supervisors, leaders, if there's any questions on that. Please bear with us as we all watch the news and figure out what this all means. I still think, in spite of all of that, it is a great time to be a gunfighter at Mountain Air Force Base. Okay. Last chance. Any saved rounds? Okay. With that, I'm going to turn it over. Am I going direct?
Yes.
Okay. My good friend, the Mayor of Mountain Home, Mayor Rich Sykes. Cool. Stay down and we'll see you. Over to you, Rich.
I guarantee you guys probably are thinking you're gonna see some like 80 or 90-year-old curmudgeon mayor, right? Not somebody young, hip, cool like this guy? Probably not, right? Hey, change this here. So I'm Mayor Sykes of Mountain Home. First off, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for doing what you guys do. My wife and I, we get to sit at home because you guys are putting warheads on foreheads. You guys are making sure that your mission is done and we get to sleep good at night. To the spouses that allow, well, we always say allow, you guys to do your duty, thank you. Tell them when you get home, thank you for that, because it takes two people or the other half to make sure that you guys can focus on your mission and do what you guys do. I've got to be out here in Mountain Home for the last 17, 18 years. There hasn't been much change. So for the guys that I saw back here that said they're back here for the second time, obviously you've noticed a lot more changes. With that, I'm going to roll right here really quick. But before I do that, when I say thank you, I want you guys to understand I really mean it. How cool is it to be a gunfighter? What's more Americana than a gunfighter? Nothing. And as Colonel Goodman just said, it's something pretty special. You guys are innovators. You guys are making sure that the daily task and making sure that, like I said, those warheads are getting to where they need to go to make sure the bad guys are taken care of. So, like I said, please, my wife and I want to tell you thank you, and don't just take it as all that. People just always say thanks to the military. We mean it from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are our family. You are our extended family when you guys go overseas. I like to think that I can call any one of you when you go home, and you'll welcome me into your home. And that's how we want you guys to feel when you're in Mountain Home, Idaho. We have the best relationship in the entire nation when it comes to the Air Force Base in a town, because we love you guys. Same with the Singaporeans. They're amazing partners, but we also call them family as well. I've made a lot of good friends, and it's not just the upper echelon, it's not the commanders, it's you guys that are enlisted. I hosted a bunch of enlisted guys and gals at my house for Christmas, and that was more special to me than hanging out with the commanders. I'll tell you that right now. So with that, a lot of changes in Mountain Home. We just got done finishing Main Street here. We hear you guys. We don't have kind of the cool stuff that Boise has. And if you've been here before, Mountain Home isn't sexy. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make Mountain Home sexy, making it things that you guys can come down, enjoy downtown, get some more restaurants, because we hear you. There's not, like I said, not the things that Boise has, but we're trying to get there. The Hub Plaza, the Urban Renewal Agency just finished this up last week. This is a playground area. Over here, there's some outdoor patio seating lights, and there's some, I wonder if there's another picture here. There's I gotta get you guys a better picture because this doesn't do it justice. It just got completed. There's a slide right here. There's fake grass. There's instruments that your children can go and play at, and it's monotone. It's super cool. Hopefully, this building behind here, this is what we're pushing at. It could be some sort of restaurant, brewery, something that you guys want to come down. We'll close the street off. There's a stage right here. There's a snack shack right here, and behind it, there's bathrooms. Mountain Home doesn't have any outdoor bathrooms other than porta potties, so we went sophisticated for Mountain Home. We got bathrooms outside. This is all completed. I challenge you guys to come downtown, look at it. Obviously, keep your social distance, but it's pretty cool. April 20th, we're getting ready to build a brand new skate park in Mountain Home. It's 11,000 square feet. We're super excited. This has been kind of a mission of mine for the last 4 years. And we got a grant to do this park. And as of April 20th, we'll grade it, put the drainage in for the skate park people. And they've also have a bunch of new ideas to add to this park. And so we're really excited. And then what I'm doing right now is trying to figure out some lighting mechanisms. So, because right now you have to be out of the park by dusk. Well, we have kids that will play basketball, and I'd rather them be out playing basketball or skating or doing something like that than vandalizing. So we're working on a plan to make sure that this goes off and it's timed and you can hit a button and maybe it'll go on for a little longer. But if you're really skating, and it's not just skaters, it'll be wheelchair accessibility, scooters, BMX bikers, so it's for everybody, young and old. So we're excited to bring this to Mountain Home. That's Colonel Goodman's hammer, and that's mine. What we did is we acquired the Air Force Base rail line from you guys. We were told it would never happen. I'm the guy that if you tell me it can't happen, I still try to do it. Even if I strike out, I'd still try to do it. But we acquired this Air Force Base rail line. We just got done annexing over 400 acres into the city, and that'll be our new industrial park. We're the only preferred focus site for Union Pacific in the state of Idaho. We want everything to ship to Mountain Home and then get disseminated out. We're perfectly located between Seattle, Washington, and Salt Lake City. That's where we're going to push real hard to make sure that we get better jobs, other jobs for your spouses as well. We have very limited jobs. I mean, you can work at Marathon, Walmart, fast food, but your spouses have higher education. We want them to be able to be a CPA at one of the industrial plants, maybe an accountant, something that their specialty is warranted. So this is more to come on this. We're super excited. We're getting ready to figure out how we get the rail spur we have to upgrade it to like 115 weight, I think. But we're working on that process right now. We own it. We're excited. The Air Force, great partner for the city of Mountain Home. This is going to open up a whole brand new businesses for Mountain Home. I have a fiber optics project that I'm working on. I want to be the second city to be fully fiber capable. The city of Ammon is the first one in the state of Idaho that they have their own fiber. So what they are is they are the highway. Then they bring in all the ISPs will be the on-ramp. And what that's done is it kills the monopoly for the ISPs. Right now, the ISPs will tell you in Mountain Home, hey, you guys are lucky to get what you're getting. This is about as best we can get you. No. I've learned so much with fiber optics this last year that it upsets me. You guys deserve to pay for a fair rate. If it's $9.80 for a gig, I think that's fair. That's what they're paying in Ammon. Why can't we have that in Mountain Home? I want to be the next century city. I want to be the next tech city. And so what we've already done is started laying the groundwork for our fiber optic system. We went out for an LID from the judge, and she awarded us an LID, local improvement district. So we're the second city in the state of Idaho that has been passed by judicial confirmation to make fiber optics a utility. I tried to pass some stuff in the House. We're still working on that one. And then on the Senate side too, to allow municipalities to be able to fund their own fiber optics. We don't want to be in the ISP business. We just want to bring every ISP to Mountain Home, and that way you guys can pick who you want in 30 seconds or less. You click on your Internet Explorer or whatever it is, Safari, and then it'll pop up 15 to 20 different ISPs. You look at which one you want, boom. If you're not happy with them, you get back on there, boom. You can switch it that fast. Pick somebody else. That's what we want to bring to you guys, especially out here, because it's not fast. I'll tell you that. Our internet sucks. So we're trying to fix that for you guys. Commercial development. If you go up by the Auto Ranch, we have something coming. I'm super excited because nothing ever happens right in Mountain Home. But we have a restaurant coming, and then Todd McCurry that owns that is developing all of this. So if you go up there and look at it, they're putting in all the infrastructure. We made a deal. I said, if you get me somebody in one of these corners in escrow, I will build this road for you right here. I'm not trying to throw my prior predecessors on the table. They were always reactionary instead of thinking into the future. This road was put in, a dirt road, with the infrastructure in 1994. They didn't do anything with it. I had funds that could only go to new road, so I was thinking, that's a win-win. I put in the first 350 feet. The developer's going to put the last 500. I get a business right here. I think that's a pretty good win. This also is another development. ITD owns it. Prior predecessor said, hey, what a great spot to put a park and ride. I'm thinking, really? That looks like prime real estate to me that a developer could come in and bring restaurants. And then I asked, well, will ITD sell it? Oh, no, Mayor, they'll never do that. I made a phone call. Will you guys sell the property? Oh, absolutely. So that's the kind of mentality Mountain Home has been accustomed to for far too long. And for me, I have my family here, my grandkids are here, my whole family's here. I gotta make it better. I gotta make it better for you guys and the citizens of Mountain Home. So as of right now, it's sold. We're gonna move the park and ride down closer to the golf course. We're gonna put hopefully a traffic circle over here, over by Wendy's, McDonald's, this development, so we can get some business to Mountain Home. Optimus Park. Anything that you can think of, BMX, motocross, mud bogs, oval track, is at Optimus Park. Rodeo, we have everything that you could almost imagine that you could want. Heck, if you want to do some RC car racing on the motocross track, we don't care, come play. This is your guys' park too, your family, your home, this is your home too. Come play at Optimus Park. All right, we put on, I think it's the second or third best fireworks display from a municipality our size. Our fire department puts it on. I don't believe in VIPs. I'll tell this to the commander. Yeah, you guys are VIPs. Because back in the day, my prior person was always say, oh, commanders, VIPs, they come sit down on hole 7 with us. I believe that you guys are the VIPs. So I always say, I invite you guys to come sit with myself and my family. There'll be a trailer full of libation, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. It's up to you guys, whatever you guys want. There'll be juices. There'll be whatever you guys want. But I encourage you guys to come sit with me on hole 7. We shoot the fireworks off on hole 12, so you're literally under. It's amazing. This fireworks display, this fireworks show, is awesome. So, like I said, get your families out. You guys come out. Come sit with me. We'll have a cocktail or two, or root beer, whatever you guys are into, soda, and we'll watch the fireworks. It's pretty special. Movies in the park. We do these, and for those that are not on Facebook, look at the city website. We'll or Parks and Rec. We'll tell you when we're going to do a movies in the park, and that's a cool thing to bring your kids down. It's about making a memory, right? So bring your kids down. What we'll do is bring a cooler, pop, pizza, whatever you guys want. It's open in the park, but we'll do a movies in the park. We'll let you guys know what we're showing. We try to show the latest and greatest movies that just rolled out. Alrighty, guys, this is the largest parade in Idaho, in Little Mountain Home, Idaho, in your guys' honor. We've been doing this for over 52 years for you. So I want you, I know some of you guys are gonna have to work it, but it's free barbecue for you guys. So just to let you guys know, after you're done working it, whatever you guys are doing, please come down. You don't have to work it, come down, and this whole park, Carmelo Park, is just loaded with vendors and other kind of weird food. We encourage you guys to come down and participate, but we do this because we love you guys. So this is kind of like my baby. So here in a second, I'll show you Christmas in the park. We needed a way to fund the lighting of the park. We didn't want to keep going to all the small mom and pops, vendors and all that, and ask them, or the stores, and say, hey, will you donate? So what we did is we decided to do an Endless Summer Festival of Beer. And it's not just about beer. It's about from like 1 to 5, we have bouncy houses, kids play areas, all the food truck rodeos there. So we encourage you guys to come participate in that. And then if you'd like to have some great Idaho quality craft beer, we encourage you guys to do that as well. Every single penny of that goes to Christmas in the park. We do a full harvest zombie walk, and all that funding goes to the Christmas in the park. And this is what I'm talking about. So we do a parade, light the night parade for the City of Mountain Home. You guys do it here on base. And then Colonel Goodman and I, we always joke that who has the better tree, and of course I always win. Mine's a lot bigger, right? The bigger's always better, right? But we also started doing fireworks. We kind of messed that up this year. We got some lady on fire, not on purpose. It shot off a tree and hit her, but she was good. She was fine. I'm sure the coat that we had to buy her was probably the most expensive coat we've ever had to pay for, but it was an accident. She was fine. But this is where all that money goes. We do some fireworks. We have a kind of like a walking tour. We do some city buildings that we've had the high school kids make. We want you to make a memory, and we want you guys to say, oh, remember when I was stationed at Mountain Home? They got some of the greatest Christmas displays ever. And we want you guys to do that. We do your selfie pods. We have selfie pods with your kids. So we want you guys to make a memory at Mountain Home. While you're here, make a memory. As Colonel Goodman alluded to, oh my gosh, until we can get this coronavirus out of here, once it's gone, I encourage you guys to get out into the great state of Idaho. In 45 minutes, you can do almost anything that you can dream of. Water ski, wakeboard, surf, snowmobile, fishing, hunting, hiking. We have like the largest sand dunes west of the Mississippi in Idaho, if you can believe that. But anything that you want, you have it in Idaho. So get out of your dorms, get out of your houses, go explore. I challenge you to go explore. Mountain Home might not be too sexy because it's high desert, but once you get into the mountains and get into the trees, then you'll see it. It's amazing. How many of you guys heard that the schools are horrible? Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, 1, 2. All right. Our teachers are the best. We have great teachers. We went to the 4.0 because the Air Force was like, hey, these are what we want. We're reciprocation for our teachers. We want the 4.0 scale. We heard you, we listened. We got the governor to approve most of it. And so right now, every school is built by the DoD except for 2. So our schools might be a little old. We've done a bunch of levies to upgrade them. We had a hacker. We had barrels because the rain would come in and drip, and we've fixed all that. We're going to try to go out for a school bond, hopefully, if it's not this year, next year, to get a new high school. And if you guys have your residency here, please vote yes. We have some people that don't like change in Mountain Home. They don't, I don't know. But always think about who paid for the school before you did. So I would tell everybody, please make sure you vote yes on the school bond if we do it. But the teachers, they actually go to Boise to teach the other teachers how to teach. So know that you have quality teachers in Mountain Home. The schools, like I said, they're a little older. That's our junior high. That's the new school that we have. But we are definitely trying to upgrade some schools, get a new high school, things of that nature. So please, we have quality teachers here. Housing market, this is the one where I smile because my wife's a mortgage lender here. I tell everyone, buy Mountain Home. Like I said, Mountain Home's not sexy. We're like to safe mutual funds. Boise and Caldwell and Nampa, they're like the stock market. You know, that's sexy. It goes up and down really quick. Mountain Home is shelter. We've always been sheltered because of you guys. We go up, the housing market goes up real slow, and then when it crashes, we go down really slow. I tell all you guys, buy a house in Mountain Home. When you guys get deployed or whatever, rent it out. You know somebody that'll rent the house. Because what are we at? 100% housing out here in Mountain Home, or on the Air Force Base? There's hardly any houses in Mountain Home. We're alleviating that. We're taking care of that. We're going to get this fixed, hopefully here in the next 6 months. We have a big development with Fort Barton and other developers, single units, family units. So stay tuned. We'll get more on that coming to you guys too. But great rental market if you buy. I invested in Mountain Home. You guys aren't going anywhere. When they talk about brackets, maybe a reorganization, not a closure. So definitely buy in Mountain Home. You'll make money. All right, really quick. I know my time's up. Do you guys have any questions for me? You gotta have one. There you go. So we have, well, it's going to be in town. So we have east, west, and north. So where do you live in town?
I live on the thing.
And then there's Stevenson. Do they, I can't remember what grade they do. I think it's like kindergarten. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one always, I'm trying to get to know
So west is probably, I think, the oldest out of the elementary schools, but they're the most funded. So I sent my kids there, even though I lived on the north end of town, I sent my kids there they got some great kindergarten teachers, first grade teachers. I'm not knocking any of them, so don't go tell all the other teachers I'm saying go to this one, but they get a little bit more money because they have a different demographic over there. So come on, I got one more question.
I have two. Are there any plans to build a teen center in town? And is it true they're building a food truck circle?
So on American Legion, so if you're going up to Walmart, there's a little, something like it's in the hole there. That's where they're wanting to build a food truck rodeo area. We're talking about closing off a 2nd Street right by the stockyard. Well, maybe they could do a food truck rodeo there. We'll know more probably tomorrow. If we close that street off, we need to close it off because we're getting ready to do phase 2 for the downtown project. And the first question was what again?
Are there any plans to open
teen center. So there is an airman and his wife doing a fun zone in Mountain Home, and then the Western Elmore County Rec District is doing a aquatics facility. That's a different district. I have no control over it. That one I don't touch because that one's just it's been going on for 18 years and never done anything, and so it's got political ramifications. Nobody wants to play with that one. But they're supposed to be making an aquatic center with splash pad. So the City of Mountain Home, we don't want to touch them. We said we'll help you once you're done doing what you're doing. What we want to do is we'll do our own kind of like IV Wild, like Boise splash pad, a zero entry pool. Reorder that one, but we have I think it's like a 60-year-old pool that we've been patching it along. So. Alrighty, I gotta go. Thank you guys for doing what you do. Keep doing it. And my door's always open. So come to City Hall. Thank you guys.